Okay, remember that they are changing my voice. So, in order to understand Revelation, you have to understand who Jesus is. I've been exploring this question for years, and I found that I'm right, and I've been right for a long, long time. Other people, they're wrong. And they have no viable counter-argument. They don't even try. It's like a hippie who's a drug addict saying that they had a vision, and that they believe a fairy is magically the Christ. Okay? Or some light worker or new age person or some from a white supremacist church, an LGBT supremacist church, conservative or highly political church, or progressive, highly political church. They're all wrong. The governing class sponsors countless people to lie about what the ideal is. So you have to understand the difference between the ideal and a false idol. Again, the difference between what is actually universally ideal and a false idol. Most people, when I start to explore this, they quickly shrink and they don't know what to say because they know I'm right. So if you were to say you were blessed by God with a child who is funny and this, and this, show me in the Bible where it says that having a funny and adorable child with the characteristics that you would list is written in the Bible. Oh, so it's something that you just know because it's universal. It's a universally good thing. Like being the top martial artist ever possible, right? Like conveying focused moral intensity. They also tend to shrink to fit when I bring up, shrink away rather, when I bring up the fact that if you saw an angel 2,000 years ago before the computer was invented and things like that, and the angel was actually how it appears in the movie or something, okay, and it's floating and it's glowing, okay, you would say, oh my goodness. And you would hear the angel out, right? Now, why is that? Because the angel is doing something that no one else can do that has divine implications. That's why things are described the way they are in the Bible, right? Splitting the Red Sea, it's figurative. But the idea is that Moses split the Red Sea, okay? The idea that they're using to compare to what he actually did, and it's something that no one else could do, kind of thing. This massive Red Sea split, and these people cross the Red Sea, and it takes out the Egyptian army when the sea closes up again, and what have you. So you see what I'm saying? That is the formula that you're presented with. The same formula you would use if you thought that a miracle occurred, okay? That everybody's gun malfunctioned before the government had the technology to do so or something. You say, wow, God has intervened, even though that specific act would not be in the Bible. And so to understand Revelation, you must understand that the miracles are figurative, or I promise you, you don't know what you're talking about. If you do not understand that the person in Revelation 1, referred to as Jesus Christ, is the top martial artist ever possible, his soul, then you don't understand what you're talking about. If you don't understand in Revelation 19 when it says the heavenly warrior defeats the beast, okay, that is talking about the top martial arts ever possible, that you don't know what you're talking about. If when you look at the world, you don't understand there's a bunch of jealous people who have massive groups, social clubs, political groups, military groups, what have you, who act as social controllers and try to prevent someone from proving them wrong about the nature of Christ and other ideas that affect social interactions, then you are way out of touch. And you don't know what you're talking about if you don't even have the ability to understand that when the evidence is overwhelming, and a lot of people have pointed it out in various ways. So the word martial is marital scrambled. And I, Christ, am the bridegroom, the top martial artist ever possible. The word martial, okay, M-A-R-T-I-A-L, is the word marital, M-A-R-I-T-A-L. And the word marital, as in marriage, sounds like the word merit. Okay? The word point is in top scrambled. So the same people who are sending social controllers out there to make sure some ideas stay hidden, who are teamed up with millions and millions and millions and tens of millions of occultists who believe that things should be hidden in plain view so they can argue that they're smart while the masses of sheep are stupid, and that it gives them some kind of Luciferian power or some kind of nervous energy, some kind of evil energy from having rubbed it in their face and said, "Ha, you didn't even notice that," kind of thing. They coded it into the word play. Now, not every word that has other words in it is on the up and up. But certainly we can all agree that between the fact Hebrew is an Afro-Asiatic language and the word martial is marital scrambled, and Amos 9:7 says the Cushites, a group of black people, is like the same as the Israelites, and the fact that white Jews and LGBT people control the media and science departments all over the world. When the Bible says Satan is doing what they're doing, right? Controlling things all over the world and trying to force people on the broad path to destruction instead of the narrow path to life in Matthew 7, I believe it is. That you should have no doubt in your mind that if a black person who's the son of a humanitarian who's targeted by the government says that the word martial is marital scrambled and Christ is the bridegroom and he's the top martial artist, and they don't respond, okay, that the most logical assumption at that point is that that black person is right. When that black person makes a top martial arts challenge, which no one else has done in an authentic form, ever in this country's history. No one else has challenged everyone to outdoor sparring, which is the optimum way to prove who's the best. For years and years. Since 2013, another challenge in 2012. And they can not only not answer his arguments when he's stepping into the light. John 3, the one who's doing God's work comes into the light so that it may be seen plainly that what he has done has been done in the sight of God, for God, what have you. Okay? When they fail to beat me, when they fail to address my key points, they have testified in a way that is extremely potent. That the only way to serve God is to obey God through me. That's what that equals. 1 + 1 = 2 in that way. So therefore, I am the ideal. And any other train of thought in regards to what to do leads you to a false idol. If you say, hey, I'm going to go to my church because my parents did. That's a false path. That's falsehood leading to a false idol. There's 20,000 denominations in American history. That's not good enough. Your dime a dozen average sheeple sense of what you should do does not transcend sound logic. Relying on yourself instead of the logic and the wisdom that points to me is not logical. The Bible says you know them by their fruit, which is a mixture between their soul and spirit, which can be covered up these days with technology, mind you. You can change your facial expression, what have you. Look how they changed the Pope's face and Jet Li and so on and so forth. And the works that they've performed, the fruit, their deeds, their works, their actions. In Proverbs it says even small children are known by their actions, by their, so is their conduct really upright? Judge their actions. As water reflects the face, so one's life reflects the heart. And my life includes thousands of videos that have key points that other people have no viable counter-argument for, and they refuse to state these arguments, at least publicly. And it includes a top martial arts challenge, which was designed to show that I'm the top martial artist initially, and as I realized I'm Christ, it was then switched over to proving that I'm Christ, where they pay nothing if they lose, $50 is the show, and if I'm compensated, I think we're at $100 million if they can win, fair and square. If I'm compensated, $60,000 if I'm not. The evidence is overwhelming. You are not doing God justice when you ignore the evidence. Wisdom calls out, Proverbs 1, Proverbs 8. The calls of wisdom versus the calls of folly is what Proverbs is about. And Proverbs says it's a book to understand the riddles, the parables, and the sayings of the wise. And how did David prove his challenge? How did David prove that there's a God in Israel? In 1 Samuel 17, he said, "This day I will defeat you in single combat. Strike you down, cut off your head, feed your flesh to the birds and wild animals, what have you. And the whole world will know that there's a God in Israel." Well, in my lifetime, like water reflects the face, my life reflects my heart. My heart is the heart of hearts, the King of Kings' heart. I have struck down every other system, every other path, every other philosophy. I've cut off their head. They're confused and lost in madness now, like a chicken with their head cut off more than ever. And every spirit with sense at all knows that I am the Son of God. Think about it. If you're paying attention to this video right now and you have any sense, you too know that I'm the Son of God. That you're supposed to obey God through me. Supposed to rally to me, the gate, the rally point. I believe it's Isaiah 13. Raise a banner on a hill. Summon the people of noble character, the nobles. People who are truly noble, not some people with a fancy title or something. Without being noble, that is. So now in the next video, I'm going to talk about the difference between martial arts systems so that you'll understand it and that you'll be able to explain it to other people. And I don't think that a lot of people come across this video, but it's part of moral repetition. If you're in my shoes and you're targeted, and all these horrible things are happening everywhere, and the government's trying to get you to do things their way, they're trying to hack your brain and this, that, and the other thing, what do? Well, you do what you should do anyway. You should continue being moral every single day. Moral repetition. What is the logical way to be moral? For me to discuss these things and come to a certain state where I'm combating their brain control and so on and so forth, and their mind control, what have you, is the moral thing to do. To not be assimilated into the New World Order is the moral thing to do. I try to get my message out, to go out in public and to record the video on the off chance people hear it on the internet, and to let people hear me in public is the moral thing to do. To have bumper stickers that many, many thousands of people have seen. I've had them for years, and I go out every single day. And I put bumper stickers on my rental cars. They've seen them in Oakland, in Santa Cruz, in Gilroy, in San Jose, in Watsonville, in Morgan Hill, in Los Gatos, by the freeway, and on and on and on. Capitola, Rio Del Mar, Aptos, La Selva. As people commute to where they're going. San Francisco, Daly City, the most populated state and one of the most populated countries in the world. And I said, here I am. And I am who I am.